Well, hello, and welcome back to my channel, Karen Pippen Piano. Well, today's class, we're going to be learning how to do scales again, but this is going to be part two. Now, in part one, we did learn how to go up on the scales and with your right hand and with your left hand. And then when I left you, the challenge was to be able to do them with both hands together. So hopefully you've been practicing that. If not, go back to part one, scales for beginners, and just kind of review over that and make sure that you're able to go up on your scales with both hands and then both hands together going up, okay? So this class, we're going to be teaching to go back down, okay? So we went up. Yeah, I don't want to leave you there. I want to bring you back, okay? So let's go ahead and hop in. Now, we did talk about in part one, the importance of scales. Sometimes we think scales is like, what for what? Why? It's a waste of time, whatever. Well, as a beginner, in which is who this is for, total beginners, okay? When one thing about learning scales, it helps you to focus in on what you're about to do, okay? You're about to play, you're about to get on the piano or your keyboard or organ or what have you, and you're about to play. So you want to kind of bring your mental focus in, okay? And everything else, your physical, everything, you're getting ready to play. So you want to bring that focus in and direct it to the keyboard. So doing scales kind of does that. And once you're a little more advanced, you'll understand also that you play in different keys and there's going to be sharps and flats and you're going to know what key you're in and then maybe do a scale or two in that key, just so you'll remind yourself mentally what's going to be what you're going to need to play. Okay, so scales are great for bringing in the focus. Okay, all right, so da 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 a couple of times and just kind of draws in what you're working on and what you're doing. Also, doing scales helps build your agility, okay? Being able to do and move about with your fingers and your hands and your elbows and your arms. And even when you're a little more advanced, your whole body, you're going to need to use that. So it helps to bring in more agility, more so with your hands and fingers, okay? Being able to do it and then do it together, opposite, and all of that. Just bringing about the agility of doing your playing. So doing scales kind of helps you with that. Okay, and then also it helps with precision. I did bring that up in the last recording. Precision, or just being precise and knowing where your hands are. Okay, so if you're playing a scale, you already know that where they are, and after you practiced it a few times, you don't even have to look down at your hands. You know where they are. They're not going to move unless you move them. So if you put them where they're supposed to be and leave them there, you'll kind of already know where your hands are. So it kind of helps you with being aware of where each hand is and the keys and the notes that they're playing. Okay, so those are some of the three. Now, doing scales, many people do scales for many other different reasons, but as a beginner, those are some of the better reasons for doing and learning how to do scales. Okay, now let's get going. Now, we did talk about first before I switch over to the keyboard. We talked about an octave because this type of scale we're doing is a 1 octave scale. Octave is a musical term that means 8 notes. If you go back and look at part one, we discussed that. But we are doing an 8 note octave, meaning from one, for instance, we're doing the C scales. So from one C to another, which is the very next, either up or down, 8 notes up would be another C. And then 8 notes up would be another C. So octave just means 8 notes. And we're doing a an octave scale, meaning 8 notes, okay? So let's get switched over to the keyboard here. Let's get that over. Give me 1 second. We'll switch over and let's get the camera switched. And then we'll get going. Let's see. Okay, so here with the keyboard, remember we found our middle C. The C, middle C is the C that's closest to the middle of your keyboard, all right? This one is the closest. Remember to find your middle C. It's the 2 black notes, not the 3, but the one that's bunched with the 2. This is a C, but this is not my middle C. This is the 2, and to the left, there is your C, okay? Now, same thing with the left hand. You're looking for the 2 black notes, and to the left, that is the lower C. So you've got your middle C right here, and then you've got your high C up here. Then when you go down, you've got your lower C, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is start with the scales from the, let's see, let me get my hands here. Remember in the previous one, we talked about going from one C to the other. So hopefully you've been practicing that. Same thing with your left hand, going up. Okay, so we were practicing going up. So the purpose of this class is to go down. But let's go up. We did up with both hands. All right, so let's firstly look at your right hand. Okay, so we'll start. We ended up here with the higher C with your pinky there. So we're going to come down. So we're going to use all 5 fingers because they're all in place. So we'll go. Now we're all out of fingers. So we'll switch our 3rd finger over like this and bring the rest of the fingers there and then finish. Okay, so let's go back up to the pinky with the higher C. Okay, we'll do it again. All 5. Right hand, this is right. 3rd finger over and then and we're back at C. Okay, that was your middle C. Let's do it one more time. Right hand. Okay, great job. Great job. All right, so now let's switch to the left hand. Now going up, we start on the pinky because we start on the lower C. Your pinky goes up there, and then we swing over. All right, so we end with our thumb on the left hand, okay? So now we've just got to figure out how to get back down. All right, so what we'll do with the left hand, we'll go 1, 2, 3, then swing your thumb under. All right, bring the other fingers over and land on a note. Okay, let's do it again. You end up with your thumb, go thumb, down, down, swing. All right, so let's do it one more time. Left hand, you start with that thumb, going down, swing the thumb under, and finish it up. Okay, so we've learned how to go up. Let's go up. 2 hands. Now, your challenge this week is to make sure you practice each hand going back down by itself a few times. Then, again, the challenge is to do both hands together, taking your time. We're at 3, so something happens. It's the left hand has a swing under. Okay. Now we're at 5. The right hand swings over the 3rd, and both hands are with the 3rd now, and we're going down. Okay, so that's both hands going down. Let's do it one more time. So now the left hand swings. The right hand swings over. And then on C. Okay, so after this class, now you do know how to go up. And this class is teaching you how to go back down. Okay, all right. So that is the class here for, let me get the camera switched over again for you. All right, so now this is video number 2. So it's teaching you how to go back down. So part 1 taught you how to go up with your scales for 1 octave. And part 2 is teaching you how to come back down. So make sure that if you've learned something today, that you go ahead and like the video. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And that way, when I put out another video for beginners, you will be one of the first to know. All right, again, thank you so much for joining us with part 2 of Scales for Beginners. And I hope you have a piano bumping day. Bye-bye.